So, ladies and gentlemen, the question of the day is, who's prettier, Miranda Lambert or Keith Urban? That question arises because I've been on a Keith Urban and Miranda Lambert binge. I don't even know who Miranda Lambert was until I saw her sing a song with Keith Urban. And it's just been like 3 or 4 days of Alexa. Yes, I have an Alexa. So if you want to unsubscribe now, go ahead. I have an Alexa, and Alexa has been wearing out the Keith Urban. Hey, Alexa, play Keith Urban. Here she goes. I'm going to tell her to stop now. Alexa, end. We don't want to have Keith Urban in the background because they'll put me back on YouTube timeout. But anyway, I'm not sure how that came up, but it's interesting. And feel free to weigh in on which one you think is prettier, Keith Urban or Miranda Lambert. That's the question of the day. And Brett Favre. And we're going to talk about what is going on. We just did part 1 a while back of, what was it? Christ wants you lukewarm. And he really does. I can't re-teach, re-preach, re-whatever the whole first part, but basically it was that the scripture that says don't be lukewarm means be lukewarm, because if you're hot or cold, you're either hot-headed or cold-hearted. And what kind of a deity wants you hot-headed or cold-hearted? Yeah, it is. Tracy Dyer says, it's good that I pose life's important questions. That's right. Who's prettier, Keith Urban or Miranda Lambert? And which hairstyle would I be better to adopt? The Urban hairstyle, the Lambert hairstyle, or none of the above? I should have made it a poll question. I did that once before. But anyway, we'll try to get back into some seriousness here. It's going to be a little bit more difficult now that I've done that. Yeah, Keith Urban is a handsome dude. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I've seen him in person way back before he was famous, and he is definitely a handsome chap. Small guy, definitely a handsome chap. But I wanted to talk today about what happens. This is part 2. I wanted to talk today about what happens if you do let yourself get hot, if you do let yourself get cold, if you let yourself get hot-headed, or if you let yourself, oh, thank you, Scott. I did see a thing though where Keith Urban went into a hospital and serenaded a lady that was dying of a really, really horrible disease. And I thought it was tremendous that he did that. And it was really, really nice and diminutive. Great word, Michelle. So I put that on my Facebook feed or whatever they call it. So seems like he's a really good guy, and I really like that. So anyway, I want to talk about what happens if you allow yourself to get hot or cold, if you allow yourself to get hot-headed or cold-hearted. And lukewarm really means the middle path. Lukewarm really means the straight and narrow way. Lukewarm really means balance. So the deity that doesn't want you to be balanced, you have to wonder if that's a deity that you want to have anything to do with. That's my question. Oh, here's the real question, ladies and gentlemen. As Rocky Stucci is in the house, and Rocky will be with Scotty and I on Thursday night for 2 hours, forget about Keith Urban and Miranda Lambert. Who is prettier between Keith Urban, Rocky Stucci, and Miranda Lambert? That's not even fair to Keith Urban and Miranda Lambert, because Rocky Stucci is one handsome man. But at any rate, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get to the place of lukewarm. We want to get to the place of balance. We want to get to the place of the middle path. We want to get to the place of the straight and narrow way. And we want to stay there, because when we stay there, we are not going to be in a place where we're getting destroyed. We're not going to be into a place where we're getting ourselves into an area where we create destruction. And I talked about, thank you, Tinkerbell, the destruction that people of that type create. And I want to talk about making sure we don't become those kind of people, and giving us encouragement to stay away from those kind of people. And I'm wondering right now, this just dropped into my mind. You remember the scripture that says, come out and be ye separate. Come out from among them and be separate. What does that's in the book of Revelation. Come out from among them and be separate. Come out from among them and be separate. Huh. Oh, it's not in Revelation. It's in 2 Corinthians. Come out from among them and be separate. Come out from among them and be separate. Let's look at that real quick. Come out from among them, because we need to come out from among the hot-headed and the cold-hearted. Come out. What does that mean? That means to come out of. That makes perfect sense. Come out from the midst of them. Oh, this is doing my dude. Come out from being in the midst of them. Come out from being in the middle of them. We don't want to be these kind of people. We don't want to be hot-headed. We don't want to be cold-hearted, and we don't want to be in the middle of them. We don't want to be between them. We don't want to be in the midst of cold-hearted or hot-headed people. We want to be what? We want to be separate. We want to set off a boundary. We want to rail off. We want to place apart. We want to make boundaries in our lives between the people that are hot-headed and us, between the people that are cold-hearted and us, because the hot-headed and the cold-hearted are the ones that want to do damage, do violence to those of us that want to be balanced, that don't want to pick a side, that want to walk the middle way, that want to be lukewarm, even though they call us names. Oh, you don't want to be lukewarm. That's exactly what we want to be. That God doesn't want us to be lukewarm, but the real God, the real divinities and deities do want us to be lukewarm, because if you're not lukewarm, things like this happen to you. When you are hot-headed or when you are cold-hearted, things like this happen to you, ladies and gentlemen. Oftentimes you get cast into the fire. Oftentimes you get cast into the waters. If you allow yourself to be hot-headed, if you allow yourself to be cold-hearted, you're going to get cast into the fire, and you're going to get cast into the waters. And this was said of a person that was said to be oppressed by an evil spirit. So, Jeff, are you saying that everybody that is hot-headed and cold-hearted is oppressed or possessed by an evil spirit? I'm just reading what the text says. I'm not saying anything, but I am saying that if you are hot-headed, if you are cold-hearted, there is a spirit that will tend to cast you into the fire. What does that mean, to be cast into the fire? Let's look at verse 9:22. We'll go straight to the horse's mouth, straight to the Greek. And does it really mean you got to be cast into a flame? Fire 44,444,2. That's a lot of twos, isn't it? That's interesting. So what does it mean? It means to be cast into heat. It means to have lightning, strife, trials, fire. So yeah, it might mean that the kid was cast into the fire, but it also might mean that the kid was prone to strife and trials, that the kid was prone to flashes of anger like lightning. So it could be that it is not necessarily wanting to throw you into fires, because we don't get around many fires anymore these days, ladies and gentlemen. But we do get into the place where our anger can burn with the heat of the sun. We do get into that place where our anger can strike like lightning. And we do get into that place where we have strife and we have trials. And we do get into that place where our anger can burn like fire. So if you're hot-headed, you can wind up burning and flashing with emotions that are out of your control. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is no bueno. You don't want to go there. You don't want to be that person. And then if you are hot-headed or cold-hearted, you also might find yourself crying and cutting yourself with stones. Again, this was also a person that had what we would call demonic attachments, oppression, possession. Am I saying that everybody that's hot-headed or cold-hearted has demonic oppression and possession? I'm just reading what the text says. The text says, but this guy in verse 5 What was he doing? Well, he was doing this. He was all night and all day crying out. Well, what does crying out mean? Crying aloud, shrieking, yelling loudly, screaming. He was articulating shouts that expressed deep emotion. To scream, to cry out. Sounds like dude was not in control of his emotions. Sounds like he's the very definition of hot-headed. Crying out, shrieking. And if you've never heard anybody that loses their temper and starts to shriek, cousin, you haven't heard anything yet. It's like a raven's piercing cry, like a raven's caw. I can say amen to that. I've heard it. And you don't want to be around this, and you don't want to be this, and you don't want to be around this. So this dude was screeching. It's a really good word for it. He was screeching out, and he was cutting himself with stones. Well, does that necessarily mean that he was cutting himself with stones? Cut, mangle, wound. Look at what the word that it's from. To come down on. To wear day to day, to bring from a higher plane to a lower plane. Do you think people that are not in control of their emotions bring things from a higher plane to a lower plane? And the second part of that word means to cut off, shake, smite, hit, beat breast. Do you think those kind of people bring things down to another plane? And do you think that they beat and pound and cause problems to themselves? Do you think they do? Absolutely, they do. And also, they do it to other selves if you allow yourself to stay with those selves. And, but he was doing it with stones. Oh, really? Was he doing it with stones? Or was it like a millstone hung around his neck? Was it words, acts, and deeds of men that offense comes from? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? If you allow yourself to be hot-headed or cold-hearted, you allow yourself, open yourself up at least to influence by entities that will cause you to do these things that are not good things. They're not helpful things. And it can get so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that you get to a place where people that are hot-headed or cold-hearted will actually kill people and think they're doing a service to God. They will actually kill people and think they're doing a service to God. Don't let yourself get so hot-headed for your faith that you could actually kill somebody and think you're doing a service to God. Don't let yourself get so cold-hearted in your faith that you could actually kill someone and think you're doing a service to God. A person in the middle way, a person in the straight and narrow path, a person that is a passerby, a person that doesn't pick a side, they're not going to kill anybody over doctrine, theology. They're not going to do it because they are not crazy like people that are hot-headed or cold-hearted can be. And where was I going with this one? Oh, watch this one. So, Jeff, it sounds like you're being a little judgmental. Sounds like you're being a little judgmental, Jeff. I can understand you saying, don't be hot-headed ourselves. I can understand you saying, don't be cold-hearted ourselves. But I got a little problem, Jeff, with you saying, don't hang out with cold-hearted people. I got a little problem with you saying don't hang out with hot-headed people. Well, let me just give you another little piece of mail here. And this says, and this is from Romans 16:17. Again, it's Paul. Again, encoded truth within error. It says, watch out for those that cause divisions. Watch out for. What have I been saying to you? Look at, regard attentively, take heed, beware, and consider. What was I saying? Be careful of people that are hot-headed and cold-hearted. Regard attentively, take heed, beware, and consider. People that cause divisions. What's a division, ladies and gentlemen? People that cause dissension. People that cause pointless, groundless factions. That's called people that want to fight, people that want to argue, people that want to cause disunion, people that want to cause division, people that want to cause sedition, people that want to cause dissension. Do you know what that is? Well, guess what? Stasis means, you know what stasis means, right? I think they're showing us opposites. Yeah, they're showing us opposites. This means, stasis means to be steady. Distasis means to be unsteady. So it's very, very plain to see what I'm trying to say to you is also said within the scriptures. Keep an eye on those people that cause divisions. Keep an eye on those people that are hot-headed, and cold-hearted. Why? Because they're obstacles. They're stumbling blocks. They're offenses. They're causes for error in your life. Don't be them, and don't allow yourself to get hooked up and hang around with them. Come out from the midst of them. Don't hang around them. Don't get in the middle of them. Don't be between them. Don't get in the midst of them. But we're encouraged to be separate, to mark them off with boundaries, to set off, separate, and place apart. Well, Jeff, that really seems like you're being judgmental. That really seems like you're being kind of harsh. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Am I really sorry that you feel that way? I don't know if I'm sorry that you feel that way. All I'm trying to do is bring you some advice, because this is the last generation of real humans. And we're too busy and we got too much to do to be to be these kinds of people, or to be hanging around these kinds of people, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be hot-headed, don't be cold-hearted, and don't hang out with people that are hot-headed and cold-hearted. And remember, from the last segment that we did, one of the main reasons why you don't want to hang out with people that are hot-headed or cold-hearted is because those are strong emotional states, and strong emotional states can create charms, which can bring spiritual damage and spiritual bondage, energetic, magical bondage upon you. I did a look this week. I did spells and charms. What was it called? Magic, witchcraft, spells, and charms, I think it was. Watch that. It'll tell you what I'm talking about. Guaranteed this is a little bit of an advanced knowledge, and I know some of you might not get it, and some of you might even be offended by it. Well, that's okay. If you can watch a week of my shows and not get offended, you're probably dead. I offend my mother. Literally, I do. I offend my mother. So let's go through the chat room real quick. You've listened to me for 18 minutes, 31 seconds. Let me see if there's any questions that I can answer. No, Tracy Roberts, I'm your Huckleberry. Let's see. I like burning people that are on fire, but we don't want them to be burning us. Tinkerbell, I mean, okay. It's up to you. But you know what? I'm just saying what it said, and I'm going to leave it right at that. Some people do it deliberately. Birds of a feather flock together. Yep. And you can decide which flock you want to be in. Birds of a feather flock together, but you can decide to get the flock out of there. Oh, that was pretty good. Shouldn't label people. I think it's okay to say label behaviors. Jeff, do you think we can get knocked out of center deliberately by the dark ones? Oh, yeah. Absolutely, we can. Maintain a relatively stable environment. Yep. What if these people are related to you? What if they are? Homeostasis, right? That means chill. Disharmony is not homeostasis, obviously. Borderline personality disorder. Michelle, you're absolutely right. Best to leave them alone. You can't do much that isn't good. Yeah, I agree. Leave them alone. Don't trust inhumane people. I agree with that. You are the 5 people you hang out with the most. Ooh, powerful, powerful. Thinking of killing is killing for the power of thought. That's interesting. Even keeled is the way to be. If the church can teach you about child sacrificing, then you should be able to. Some people can't help themselves. Yeah, but I'll try to help them. But if they can't help themselves, then the chances of you helping them are 0. Oh, he did a satanic hand signal. 0. God helps those that help themselves is not in the Bible, but it could be. If someone won't help themselves, you can't help them. If someone won't help themselves, you can't help them. If someone won't help themselves, you can't help them. Big time love for you. Thank you. Every damn time. Throw in the hole until he settles down. I wouldn't recommend that. I think spontaneous combustion. Okay. Jeff knows from personal experience. Oh, boy. Hello, single female. Nice to see you. Rocky Stucci. Hashtag shut up. Thursday night, Rocky Stucci. Spontaneous combustion is not good. Learn how to bite that tongue. Be centered. I like it. It's not fun being around folks who go off without any notice. No, it is not. And guess what? It's not even that much fun hanging around folks that go off with notice. It's no fun. It's no bueno. It's not worth it. Love the Bible when he shows it. Thank you, Tinkerbell Cat. Everything in the realm is designed to throw us off our game, which is the middle way. I like it. We forget how to fight back. Why fight back? Oh, that's a good one, Dana. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you, which is a good place to be. Lukewarm is having an open mind. Hot and cold people only believe what they believe. Perfectly said. Who was that? Amanda Reno. Great job. Is your name Reno or are you in Reno? This porridge is just right. Perfect. Cynthia, his wife's father, I believe. I'm lost on that one. Both ends are bad. Zealots are complacent. I agree, Tracy. Good job. Rocky, the emotional meatball. Oh, Rocky has a little Rocky. That's nice. 2 songs back to back with middle in the title as I walked into a coffee shop as part 1 ended. Wow. Isn't that interesting? I like it. Synchronicity at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Keith Urban does seem like a great guy. And I think we just got through the entire chat room. How about that? Show some support. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you for that, Warrior Princess. Hello, Lou. Warrior Princess missed it again. Anyway, nice to see you, Lou. Hi, Lou. Weeble wobble, you weebled, you wobbled, you fell down. We did do that. It's not worth it. Life is too short and life is too sweet. I like it. I'm beginning to think the way of the Buddha is best again. Who is this Rocky? Asked Tinkerbell Cat. Well, you can find out on Thursday night. Tune in at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And Rocky Stucci, the one, the only Rocky Stucci, will be with Scotty Roberts and I on the consequential Rap Scallions. And you will know without a doubt who Rocky Stucci is after that. Rocky's one of my good buddies, long time now good buddies, and we're looking forward to getting him back on the channel. It's going to be awesome. I don't know single blind female. I have to do more research into that. I've heard many interesting things about those teachings, but I don't know that I can actually weigh in with an opinion, nor would I if I had one. Lou says she's hot now. Not sure what that's all about. Nancy hasn't got offended yet. You must be crazy. Just like me. Single blind female's never been offended. She must be crazy too. Absolutely. I like people that are on fire but don't want them to be burning us. Perfect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this little mind game that I had. Be there or be square. Penny's not a misfit, I don't think. Or this is the island of misfit toys. That's why we're all here, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow morning, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Not Your Normal Sunday Show, Wayne Steiger and myself. I think this will probably conclude my day of podcast excellence, unless I get a burst of inspiration that I just can't make wait until tomorrow. But we'll see. So just remember, you don't want to be thrown into the fire. You don't want to end up cutting yourself. You don't want to end up doing violence to people because you think you're serving your faith. And you don't want to be around people that are doing that for obvious reasons. And you don't want to be around their strong emotional projections because it can cause charms to come on you, which you might think of as a spell, but it's really a charm. So the idea is not to be hot-headed or cold-hearted yourself, and not to hang around with those that are hot-headed and cold-hearted or cold-hearted, because it's a losing game for everybody. Come to the middle path. Come to the middle way. Come to the narrow gate. Come to the way that leads to truth and to life. We are the last generation of real humans. We don't have time for this distraction, for this foolishness. We just don't. And if you disagree with me, go ahead and keep doing what you've always done. And you're going to get what you've always got. And I will ask you, how's that working for you? Maybe you should unindoctrinate yourself. Maybe you should create yourself. And that's all an inside job. We are the last generation of real humans. Let's get clear. Let's stay free. And ladies and gentlemen, don't you think it's about time we get busy?